I will go ahead and be forthcoming about this. The other day, I came into the biography of Colin Powell. You may know that Colin Powell has passed on. He died this year in 2022. You may or may not also know that in September of 2001, I listed Colin Powell as a terrorist on a list of America's most wanted terrorists connected to a website that I put together following September 11th. Within, if I'm not mistaken, 5 days of September 11th, I had developed, almost immediately after hearing about what happened on September 11th, a website that was a sort of parody, but not actually a parody, sort of representation of the Office of Homeland Security, the declarations about the Office of Homeland Security. And on this website, there were several pages. There were 3 different tracks, I guess you could say, to approach it. And one of the tracks included a list of America's 10 most wanted terrorists. And Colin Powell was listed on there for specific crimes at the time, along with 9 other people. Over the years, my understanding in some regard is that I've been persistent in actually following through on the allegations that were originally levied by me mostly. But insofar as there were other people concerned, they would have to disclose that. I had no problem talking about it. I did the majority of the actual development of the website. I came up with most of the content. There was some input from others in other regards. I take full responsibility for it, and I stand behind it. Were there things I did that I would have done differently? Yes. I made a very bad error in judgment at one point in terms of the manner in which I presented information in a way that may have come across as demeaning the impact of what was actually being communicated. And I take full responsibility for that. I would not do it again. And I'm actually not very tolerant of others that apply a similar tactic now, especially if they're over the age of 35. But at the same time, there were a list of America's 10 most wanted terrorists, and I contend in the last 20 years, all of the people on that list have been proven guilty of the charges except for one, and that's Colin Powell. Colin Powell cannot be, so far as I contend and understand, I could not find Colin Powell guilty of the charges he was accused of. Yesterday, I was looking through this biography of his I encountered, and I just happened to open right up to the page where he is discussing his understanding of the performance of the American government's leadership specific to the war in Vietnam. And I was thankful. It's what they needed to hear, and it's what we needed to hear. And my contention is if you're somebody in leadership, and a man like Colin Powell says that to you, and you do anything but thank him and move on it, you shouldn't be where you are. And I'm very grateful that it was yesterday when I found that. And it's very ironic that the only thing that I got yesterday that might have provided any sort of support to what I'm dealing with now is an excerpt from the biography of a man that I would have prosecuted for terrorism to the fullest extent of the law, which means capital punishment. And so it's very disturbing, but it's not deterring, and it's not meant to be. And I just want to say that right now.